This is Thinking Thursday for September 26, 2024. I hope you're all doing well. Today's topic is why culture matters a lot. Usually I pick a topic and then I decide how I'm going to structure my conversation, and then I back it up with the best quote I can find to kind of illustrate what we're going to talk about. Today I want to do it almost backwards, right? There's a quote out there that's been attributed to Peter Drucker. We're not sure for certain, although it seems like Dr. Drucker made this quote, and here's what the quote is. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's a popular quote. It's been out there for a while. And my research kind of backs up that Peter Drucker actually did make this quote. So the quote is, culture eats strategy for breakfast, from Peter Drucker. The notion that culture is much more important than strategy seems simple. And at least for the purposes of this short micro lesson, we're going to try to make it simple. But why? Why is it that culture trumps, supersedes, outweighs, whatever descriptor you want to use, the concept of having a good strategy? So, we spend a lot of time developing a strategy, right? We look at it from different perspectives. We test things. We experiment. We test again, then we adjust and we retest, and we come up with what we believe is the best strategy for what we're trying to accomplish. But what happens if the culture doesn't support that strategy? What happens if we've just assumed that these employees that are going to execute this strategy are all in? And in reality, they're not. It's the people that execute the strategy. And if they're not engaged, remember that conversation last week about engagement, employee engagement, what that means. And remember, engagement from Investotopia, that's a website, I think it's a blog, defines employee engagement as a metric that measures how committed and enthusiastic an employee is about their work and workplace. It's more than just job satisfaction, and it's a sign of how motivated an employee is to put in the extra effort for their organization. So going the extra mile, right? And we all committed, are we all the way in with this company or this organization or not? You see how that can affect the strategy? You could have the best plan in the world, but if you can't execute it because your folks aren't aligned with the strategy, with the organization and its mission, its beliefs, its culture, so to speak, you're not going to get anywhere. If they had a bad attitude, they won't put the effort in to get the strategy executed, and it's doomed to fail. So Investotopia and actually Engage for Success is another website that I've researched a little bit about this idea of how do you describe an employee that's engaged? I know we talked about this last week, but I think it's important in the context of trying to understand how important culture is and therefore engagement when we're talking about executing a strategy, whatever that strategy is. So here are a couple descriptors that these two, first Investopedia says that employees that are engaged, they understand their role and what their job entails. They're loyal to their employer. They are motivated to work towards success of their organization. And they are connected emotionally and rationally to their organization. Engaged for Success goes on to say they are given a voice in the organization's journey. Ooh, you mean we're asking people for their opinions and their feedback? They receive regular and constructive feedback, not when the performance review is ordered or due, but all the time. They're supported in developing their skills. What? You mean we're spending time investing in people? If you want an engaged employee, you do. And finally, they are thanked and recognized for their achievement. So here's the bottom line, folks. As a leader, it's imperative that you build and maintain a sound culture. It will affect everything you attempt to do to grow and achieve the success that you're setting out for. So spend more time on culture than you do on strategy. When you do the strategy, if it's well thought out and all things being equal, you should be successful. All right. That's enough of that for the day, but I also want you to think about researching this a little bit, right? Spending a little bit of time. Why do people, there's quite a bit written out there. There's a lot of theory. There's a lot of research out there, and you could dig into this a little more to understand it. But the general principle is culture is much more important than strategy. Last week, I started talking about the Mastery Lab, which is a learning laboratory that we've created at Browning Advisors. We have 3 learning laboratories. Last week, I talked about the Peak Potential Network. This week, I want to talk about the Next Gen Leaders Forum. So again, understand there are 3 different ones. You jump in whenever you're ready. There isn't a certain time. We're going to start these probably mid to late October, so we give a little time for people to consider this. But as a person who has aspirations to be a leader down the road and has never had any formal training, let me strongly suggest to you that you don't want to wait until your organization or your company thinks that you need training. Get ahead of it. Build your own skill set. Take control of your future. This laboratory meets 1 time a month with content and a lesson. And the second time, about 2 weeks later, will be questions and answers and some group coaching if that's appropriate. Next Gen Leaders Forum. If you want more information about this, go to browningadvisors.com/mastery or email me at info@browningadvisors.com. I'm happy to engage with you and talk a little bit about what this is about. You could try it out for a month, see if you like it. Or if you want to engage all the way, you can pay for 12 sessions, which is 12 months, and then you get a discount. Okay. Either way, I think this is a good opportunity for you to take control of your future and not wait for somebody else to do it for you. It's very cost effective. It's scary how cheap this is, but I believe in it. I think it can help you. So again, thank you for watching these videos. And I can't emphasize to you enough how I need you to pass them around. Send them to other friends of yours, other colleagues, people that you think might enjoy it. I'm trying to give you a little taste of some of these topics so you can kind of think about them some more, and we'll just see how things go. But if you want to talk and you have a different topic that you want me to talk about, I'd be happy to entertain that conversation. Again, thanks again for everything, for watching, for engaging with me in these videos, and have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you next week.